A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel. In this session, I would be talking about a very interesting piece of information that was shared with me. The information is that the newer twin flames, newer as in the younger lot of twin flames, will heal the older or the previous lot of volunteer twin flames. So a lot of people who are in twin flame situation right now, the ascension journey, they're actually born in templates where they were always, like a war of good and bad. So you could see, and all of you, some of you would probably resonate with it. If you don't, then you can look for some other session that would resonate with you more. So post 1950 is when the energies had started shifting on planet Earth. At the time when it was say 1900, that's the time when actually dark ages ended. But another 100 years is sort of taken in between time, like a bridge time. It's the time when, the people start appearing, more spirituality starts appearing. There's a change in the vibe, in the air, in the energy. Inventions had started happening. Because it was the West that was more in dark at that time, and even in the eastern part, many countries had already been colonized, but they were coming out of colonization. 1947 is when India also got freedom. So all these dates are somehow also related with each other. So after 1950 is when maximum twin flames started appearing. But during that time, just imagine today also, in 2022 also, there is so much deprogramming that so many people are struggling with. 100 years back or 50 years back, how rigid it might have been. And that's the reason why sometimes we also have to forgive our parents and our caregivers or whosoever raised us, the schooling system, the government, the society. We need to forgive them for the same reason, because they themselves must have suffered a lot. And that's why they passed on whatever they felt, was not good for us. They probably must have, kept it with them and remaining as per their understanding. So I'm being given that the twin flames back then, they were not fully awakened. They probably did not even reach harmonization. They may have surrendered, and so lucky are those who had surrendered. So after surrendering, basically Source had started taking care of them, and Source would do whatever help would be needed. So some of the people who are in their 50s, 60s and 70s, especially people who are in the 70s right now, in their 70s, these are the people who may have 70s, even 80s for that matter, and say 65 onwards you can say, because that's the age time frame I was given. So these are the people who have experienced ascension, but they have also experienced in such a way that they know how to get by. They can do couple of things. They have that life experience, but they have not fully figured it out. Or they have not figured it out, say 50% they have not. 50% they have. 50% they have not. And they also had very tough lives. They had very hard lives. So we cannot understand why they're doing what they're doing, simply because everybody feels that their pain is the biggest. And as a therapist, I can say, and a lot of you in your own way, you are also healers. You guys need to understand, and we all need to understand actually as a collective, that there are people who have far bigger traumas, pain bodies, difficulties. Some of the people who share their stories, even in this community, from this community, some of them have had very hard lives, very difficult lives. So if you listen to one person's story, like if you'll tell your story to someone, you'll feel, or they'll feel that, oh, you have gone through a lot too. But if you listen to theirs, then you'll feel, oh, they have also gone through a lot. Some people have experienced lots of divorces. If they had a better childhood, if there was no sexual abuse or anything, but they had a lot of problem in their marriage lives. Some people have a very hard life till 35. Till 35, it's literally, you can say they are slaves of other people. But after that, they shift like hugely. They start shifting at 27, 28 as per, also the astrological predictions that are made about certain types of people on this planet right now. But still there is a lot of confusion and there's a lot of chaos inside your head, their heads in fact. So everybody is going through something or the other. Everyone has a type of a pain that they have to deal with, which feels a lot to them. But there are people who have bigger pains, bigger traumas, worse situations. They have come out of it, worse situations. And they have also forgiven anybody who hurt them or abused them or assaulted them. So this new generation of twin flames is basically going to show the path to the older generation, because some of the people, some of the twin flames who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, they have not been able to forgive anyone. They have not, if not everyone, but there are some specific people who they still cannot forgive. And they live a lot in their past. They'll keep telling you stories from their past every now and then. Even if they are enjoying something in the present moment and you tell them that, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, they'll come up with something that had happened to them 20 years back, 30 years back, and then they'll say the whole story. And some of you might have heard those stories by your adult caregivers who are now obviously not into their prime, but back then they were. So they'll tell you their stories repeatedly, the same stories you must have heard 20, 30, 40 times. In some stories, they are the heroes. In some story, they are the victims. But the problem is that they continue to live in the past. And mostly it is, the connection, the attachment with the past is because of the attachment they have to the identity, their own human identity. They have not yet figured it out that you are a soul which has a body. They don't know this statement. So we all need to remember, most people remember that we are the body, we are the identity, I am so and so, I do this. But people don't remember that actually everybody out here is a spirit, everybody is a soul, and currently they have a human body and they're having a human experience. There are so many other souls, they could be having other experiences, being a cat, being a dog, being a tiger in the woods, or some other animal, plant, flower, grass, trees, a fruit tree. So different types of role people play and they learn through it. Okay, but the twin flames, because they are born for a specific reason here, the only reason why I think most people will take sometimes a bit time to digest this, at least not on my channel, but yeah, elsewhere I feel, because people get drawn to this information on their own when they become a match to the information itself. Like, information is inside of you, you get it intuitively and then you physically manifest it. Okay, so a lot of people are manifesting information, channelings because of that also. But there are so many who are not in this energy, and that's why they constantly remain stuck in the lower vibrational lust or love or desire of physical manifestation of a 3D union. A lot of you actually have cursed horoscopes, or there is some curse in your ancestor, in your generation, which has been passed on to you through your DNA. Like, there is some issue, for example, in your family, which has been going on from one generation to another, to the next. For some reason, there is a certain type of separation. Maybe it's between brother and sister, maybe it's between husband and wife, or maybe it's between grandparents, or maybe it's between, different types of people. It keeps getting passed on from one generation to another. Now, the curse has to end with you. You have to be the higher person and you have to learn to forgive everyone who has troubled you, everyone who has hurt you and abused you or assaulted you. I know forgiving people who hurt you, don't understand you, don't accept you, don't acknowledge you, or they could be thinking similar negative feelings about you, or whatever it is. I know I don't want to justify what they are thinking, because I'm doing the channeling for all of you people. You are my soul family. All of you matter a lot to me. I know a lot of you have felt very lonely and very left out and very neglected. But all of these feelings, you need to also be a champion and work through these feelings. You cannot let these things bother you and bog you down, because actually, in my previous channeling also, I spoke about how entities use weak vessels, but everybody is very, hooked on to that particular information. Those who commented, actually, it's not to give importance to the entities. It's to give importance to you, that you don't have to get affected by entities or people who are not spiritually awakened, because anybody who's not spiritually awakened is going to have materialistic ideas and thoughts about life. But we need to deal with them, and we need to create as much harmony as we can. And yes, with this, I'll also say that you need to create boundaries. If you don't, get along with people, if they don't understand you, if they are not present in your life and they only give you problems and only have expectations from you, you never feel love. You only feel formalities. You only feel like you are just maintaining relationships with people. There's no genuine bond or genuine connection. And what usually happens with twin flames is star seeds, twin flame, light workers, whosoever is on ascension journey, basically. All the ascensioners included in this, okay? So ascensioners, what happens is that they have this habit of forgiving. In person also they can forgive, and they then don't make the boundaries, okay? But it happens gradually. So maybe initially they'll forgive very easily, and they'll go back and hang out with the same people who were hurting them and troubling them and emotionally abusing them, not respecting them, not acknowledging them, constantly mocking them, bullying them, or making sarcastic comments about them, making fun about their life, their choices, their work, everything. Whatever it is, they will have a statement about it, or they'll try to pull the person down. So till the time the ascensioners don't understand the whole thing and they don't start succeeding in their path, they will have to go through this type of torture, trauma, humiliation, and they'll quietly go through it. But they only get into ascension when they don't take it anymore. When they stop taking the bad behavior, they stop saying no. That's when they change. Now, most of you must be thinking that why am I talking about this? What has this got to do with my twin flame? You don't know this, but you always attract partners based on the energy you have had all throughout your life. That's why we say you want to heal the narcissism in your relationships, you need to heal the narcissistic paternal and maternal pattern. And it is the most difficult pattern to heal. In my therapy sessions also, I've never come across someone who's got totally fixed in just one course. Everybody needs at least 2, 3. Why? Why? Because this is the biggest pain. This is the reason why you attract abuse. Because you're a neglected child or you're an enabled child. Don't think enabled children have it easy, because they also don't get unconditional love. They are simply getting the type of love which is not healthy for them. And that's why many a times the enabled children, they become the runner. Then they heal, they become the chaser. Then again they become the runner. They keep playing this game of runner, chaser, runner, chaser, runner, chaser. And they suffer a lot through that, because when they are the chaser, they are going after people. Then they become the runner, then they're like, okay, I don't care. But then they realize like, okay, I did too much of it. I should have accepted the apology or whatever it is. So we need to get out of this runner-chaser dynamic, even individually. Because you are going to attract what you are. I'm not going to make it sugar-coated. I'm not going to make it romantic, because romance is a low-frequency energy. Because romance is always made up. It's always fake. It's always made up. It needs a lot of practicing. And some people are really good at it. That's why we call them players. Because they can really say the right things to people and they can just make people like them. This person is nice. They are very good in love bombing. Who gives them the training? Where do they learn these things? Some people are really good in family politics. How do they manage to do so much family politics? Because they've learned it from the adults around them when they were children. So this generation of twin flames is going to heal the previous generation of twin flames who are probably surrendered, who are probably slightly better than a lot of other people, but still they are 50% there. And how you know that they are 50% there is because you also have to surpass them. They have done surrender, they have tried surrender, not completed it. Because if they would have completed surrender, then they would have experienced illumination. And once you get illuminated, then next step is harmonization. And then next step is union. And as I've told you, it's not a linear process. For some people, it so happens that they get into union with themselves. They go through the whole process. And then their mirror, that person comes back and recognizes them. And all throughout they had not recognized them. So how is it a linear process? And then sometimes, because of your ascension, someone else's ascension gets triggered. So whatever inner work you do, they get so inspired by it and the growth and the transformation that they also want the same. And then it is their process, it is their journey, they'll go away, they'll be in their own. And if you're close to them, say for example, you're close to a person and you want to do inner work because you want to heal the relationships in your life. So with someone specific, now you've healed the relationship pretty much. They've accepted you, acknowledged you, and they understand you better. And you also feel like, wow, this is a good change. But looking at you, they also want to become better now. And now they are like, you know what, even I want to do inner work. I want to work on myself. And this brings you to this thinking like, okay, if you are like absolutely like in better energies, then you'll be very happy for them. You'll actually tell them, you know what, go, learn, figure, do your inner work, be on your own. You don't have to be next to me. It's all right. I'm very, very happy because you're going to experience something so beautiful on this planet. These are the things that people have experienced, and there's so many testimonies from those people, especially those who have actually healed from sexual abuse and trafficking. These are like the most horrible things that a lot of children had to face, and now they're adults. Some of them were trafficked by their own parents. Some of them were sexually abused by their own caregivers. So these are the wounds that are the worst. And then they kept attracting more and more people like that who exploited them because they had the energy of, exploitation and not speaking anything. So you need to speak for yourself, you need to stand for yourself, and you need to love yourself. How many people actually love themselves? How many people? A lot of people say it that, I want to love myself. I believe in self-love. I believe in this. I believe in that. But practically they don't. Practically they never love themselves, because if they love themselves, they'll become very inclusive. They will start loving their own company so much. When you love your own company, you'll find other people who will also love your company a lot. But at the same time, there's no guarantee that everybody will love your company. Even the greatest masters, even the people who are saints, they also have, someone who's going to hurt them, betray them, or speak negatively about them. And this was a shock for me growing up. Because when I was talking to people, I heard from them. I have met genuine masters in my life. I'm really lucky. And you guys are also very lucky because you're getting to hear about them, and you'll get to hear about them a lot. Some of you who have done therapy with me, they've even, witnessed some kind of experiences where they had a mystical intervention and they have told me about it. They did experience seeing the Grand Master or the Master sometimes. So, when you see a genuine master, you know that they are the best. But it's a bigger shock when you meet someone who have to criticize them also. Like really, how can they criticize such a person, such a brilliant person? And if people can, criticize such brilliant people, such authentic people, such miraculous people, such powerful people, ascended masters, how will they leave normal, ordinary people out of their criticism? And when I was a child and I used to read Ramayana, when I used to read about Sita, I used to feel like people were so bad to Sita. Like, she was really a divine being. She is the goddess. She is daughter of Mother Earth, and everybody knows these things. It's not like they don't know it. Everybody knows this thing. She used to pick up Shiva's Pinaka bow and arrow in one hand as a child, which so many people together could not lift it up. It had to be kept on a wooden sort of a stand which had tires. So every time it had to be moved from one place to another, people had to push that cart, that wooden cart. And she as a child could pick it up. It was Shiva's bow and arrow, Pinaka bow. And eventually when her Swayamvar happened with Sri Ram, this was the condition that whosoever can pick it up, just the way she can pick it up, that person will marry her. So people know that she's a powerful goddess, she's an ascended master. She's Lakshmi, born as Sita. Most people knew it at that point in time because we're talking about Treta, descending Treta. And then too, she could walk on fire. She literally walked on fire after Ravan was killed. Still, people are talking badly about her. Still, there were people who had, ill will against her, negative talks against her, criticism against her. So, that brings me to this thought that nobody is spared on this planet. No matter what you do, you can be the nicest person, you can be really good, you can be really sweet, but somebody is going to have a problem with you. And what are you going to do about it? What should you do about it? Nothing. Nothing. Let them be. The best thing is, don't mingle around too much with them. Don't interact with them so much. Just have a very limited conversation with those people. Just very required conversation, with those people. If it is required, then talk to them. Otherwise, don't. Because you need to also respect yourself. If people don't respect your talk, your presence, your existence, then why you have to, push yourself into their faces more and more? So there are certain very important lessons that twin flames of this generation are going to learn. And with their growth and with their attitude and with their, success, because it's very important to be successful in your mission. Because mission is the thing the vessels are used for, so that the ascensioner does not do mission. How many people have stopped me from doing the work that I'm doing today? You have no idea. And for how many years? Literally 15 years, I was literally told by so many people, what are you doing? 12 years minimum, I would say. Even 10 years back, people used to make fun of me and tell me, oh, what have you written? What is this book? What are you doing? This spirituality. Because even 10 years, 12 years back, people were not that open. Or maybe I was not in those energies where I would attract people who were, open and appreciative towards it. Yes, people were very open towards the materialistic achievements that I was making at that time. They were very proud of me. They would really support me. But the moment I would do anything spiritual, or the moment I would start following my heart, there would be so many opposition and so many people would tell me, everywhere there was problem, financial issues, this issue, that issue, emotional issues, feeling left out, feeling, like nobody cares, nobody wants to talk to me when I'm doing these things. I can't be myself or what? That was the question I used to ask. They like the version of me. Another version of me they like. The one that's in the limbo state, the one that's, in the materialistic reality. They are okay with that. But that version is not happy and not totally authentic. Not connected to the soul and the divine. Yes, 50% connection was there. That's how I did so many things at that time. But it was really painful to see that nobody is understanding it, or very few people were understanding it at that time. Very few people. But still there were some people. That's the good part. There were still some people who were inspiring, who would make me feel like if they can do it, definitely I can do it too. So this is how we inspire people. Sometimes people are looking for just a small little light. And that is more than enough for them to walk through the stormy dark night. You guys are going to become that light for a lot of people, and you should be. But yes, we need to be more genuine about it. We need to be authentic about it. We can't take the credit for it because you know what? Without divine grace and intervention, nothing is possible. it is impossible to experience all of this. Because look at all the 8 billion people on this planet. They're all facing the actions, the consequences of their karma. Or they are here to just maybe learn through various lives. Everybody needs to study metaphysics that is coming from Indian subcontinent, not because I'm from India or Nepal. We all must study Sanatan Dharam because the Sanatan word itself means a culture, a religion, a Sanskriti which is for everyone. Sanatan means for everyone. And back in those days, many years back, the whole world used to follow Sanatan Dharam. Then it became, started disappearing from one continent, then the other, and then the other, and then the Dark Ages came in. So as per Sanatan Dharam, the books, the Puranas, it is said that there are in total 84 lakh yonis. Yonis basically means beings or forms of existence. So in Hindi we say 84 lakh chole. Chola means cloth. So as per the Hindu metaphysics, we don't say it's a body, we say it's a dress. So chola means it's a dress. So every person, every soul has to go through 84 lakh yonis. And then they get the human life. So human life is also very precious, they say. Once you enter the human life, then you will, keep doing other things like, you'll be keep taking birth as one person, that person, this person. But before that, you need to cross 84 lakh yonis. So why people get reincarnated again and again? Because of the actions they do, because of the karmas they perform. And that's why towards the higher side of the ascension, we don't even tell people to dwell upon positive and negative and good and bad and the duality basically. We tell people everything is actually the same. It all depends on your perception. You heal something, you process something in therapy. This is what I've noticed. When people come to me, they are having a certain type of perception. After therapy sessions and after working it out, their perception changes completely. The thing that they were cursing the most, the thing that they were upset about the most, that's the thing they start thanking the most later on. Why? Because the perception has changed. Because you were able to process the problem that was creating that perception. Or you're able to see 3, 4, 5, 6 other perceptions. Like when you have a fight with your family or you have a fight with your loved ones or, your partner, your business partner or anybody, your neighbor or someone you're in mission with, someone you work with or someone who's just a random friend of yours, but you have some disagreements and you think, this person is so annoying, so irritating, I don't want to forgive this person, blah, blah, blah. And then you suddenly stumble upon someone's story where they were abused, assaulted, bullied by their own people. Or maybe they had to go through really worse situations. That's the time you have to think, okay, I at least don't have that in my life. Or there was a time when you were really in very painful energies, but now you're not. Say 10 years back you were suffering, 20 years back you were suffering a lot. But you came out of it, you're a better person now, you're more powerful, more strong. So you begin to think that, at one time I was also miserable, but now I'm not, thankfully. So the main message of this channeling is that the current Lord of Twin Flames is going to heal the previous one, because in some cases they have even separated because of life and death. So they are never going to meet physically in this life. But because of your transformation, they will also have some impact, so that by the time they leave this planet, by the time, they are into that zone, or even towards the end, whenever their time is, or maybe I cannot, predict the time for everyone like that because it's a collective reading and I don't wish to do that also. I am nobody to actually predict these things for anyone. And better that I don't, because everybody has their own journey and they have to go through it. But I can at least tell you people that you have a responsibility on your shoulder, because you are actually taking care of so many people knowingly and unknowingly just by being yourself. Just by creating boundaries, just by doing inner work, just by transformation, just by attracting better people in your life. And most importantly, mission work, number one. When you do mission work, You're gonna take care of so many people without even realizing it, because you're not the doer, right? These are just few of the things that I've just told you. So many other things happen which you may not even realize, or be very, very aware about it, but yeah, they're happening on their own. So for personal situations, you can check out the description box. It has all the information. For those people who want to support my content on Patreon, you can click on the Patreon link. There are a couple of options over there, and there are some really exciting options too, which are related to some upcoming researches and books that I'm working on. However, I also want you people to look at the option where you get one Zoom class every month, and this is going to happen on a monthly basis. So anybody who supports me, they can take it. It's optional, it's up to you. It's not a compulsory thing, it's up to you. You can take it, so it's your wish. I would be happy if more and more people take it, because a group discussion is always more fun when more people are there. And sometimes when we schedule these group classes, some people are available, some people cannot make it. Even those things happen, right? But I still thank you all, whosoever supports my content on Patreon. I'm very, very thankful to you. This is just a gesture that I feel that, it sort of an acknowledgement, and it's also giving back to people who cannot, afford to be in customized personal sessions. For customized sessions also, you can check out all the information which is given below. All those who are, in better position, they have healed the root chakra a bit more than others, they have more confidence, they are basically independent, more independent than others. So you can check out all those options if you feel like taking it. And kindly let me know once you book a session. Please write to me on my email address, thesunamoon@gmail.com, that I have taken this session. Because PayPal sometimes does not give us all the correct information, or they would mention it's unverified information. So, I've written on certain emails and never got a revert. So please do that. It will be really helpful for both of us in order to schedule the session as soon as possible. You can also get my book In the Name of Love, which is based on the journey of finding your ultimate soulmate. These are all channel stories, and they all happen via divine intervention and mystical intervention as well. Really beautiful stories actually, and very high vibrational book. All those people who have read this book have told me that it has impacted them in many ways. So there are so many options here. You have all this content. Please use it for your inner work, and please focus on your inner work. Of course, you're already doing that, but remember that ascension is a lifestyle, and I'm very, very proud of all of you beautiful, amazing people who are connecting, in this community and doing wonders in your life by just going within. It takes time, my friends. It doesn't happen in one day. Somebody had written a long comment and said that, these women, they sound so nonchalant, as if it's so easy. No, we never say it's easy. I have never said. I don't know about others, but I have never said it's easy. And I always tell people, if you want something good, you have to work for it. This is not what the action or superhero science fiction movies are teaching you, that anyone can develop powers, anyone can do this, anyone can do that. No. If you're doing it that easily, I'm sure the devil is involved. But if you do inner work, if you work on yourself, you actually work on yourself, then it will be the real deal for you. Alright? So no shortcuts are there in ascension journey. There are no shortcuts. Alright? So thank you so much for being here with me. I'm very happy to actually channel this message, because it has so much hope. It's just that, yes, there are hard days, difficult days for everyone. It's not easy. Even I go through that. So just remember, in those difficult days, that this shall too pass, and it's all temporary. Everything in this planet, most things are temporary. There are only few truths are eternal. Rest, most of it is temporary, including this body, this device that you're in right now. So I'll see you soon in another one. One love and peace out, and Jai Shri Ram.